We've got a brand new pillage target. I'm going to take my Punisher MK2 fleet out and see what kind of damage it's doing. Hey everyone, Derpy here, and welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. This is the level 132 pillage target, and as I expected, it is similar to one we have seen before. I do have a separate raid video up on that one when it first came out, with a hit that was very near instant repair, actually instant repair in raid. I'm going to try to replicate something similar to that. On that original post, I did show a little path. If you want to go back and look at it, you can do that there. I'm not going to put it up on this one. Basically what I'm doing is I'm using trying to sort of keep moving, as well as using my Punisher Mark II flagship, my Atomic Punisher flagship, as a tank, because most of the damage in this target is splash damage, which means you want it only hitting one ship instead of all your ships. Makes sense, right? Going around the outside of the target here, and you could probably do this thing on auto for reasonable damage, if not very low damage as well. Some people were even having success with just using their flagship only when this was in the raid. Notice I did slow down my ship right there so that it would actually stack up and be inside that purple ring, because that's very important for gaining all the survival bonuses as well as whatever other bonuses you get from that thing. It's a little bit tricky to snipe that last turret there, so you have to stack up right next to the wall, get all your ships right around there. Once this outside bit is dead, you can see I've taken pretty much no damage, a little bit on some of my ships, but most of it is on the flagship, which will hopefully be under instant repair. If you do want, you can even try alternating around which ship is a tank so that you'll take less damage. But I believe I have one special on my Atomic Punisher flagship so that it has more evade. I'll show you the build at the end so we can check on that there. The mines in this target should not be dealing any damage. They just slow down your ships, and that's all they do. There is no damage, and slow resistance does not help against any mines. Only tactical field resistance does, which I don't have. So you can have just as much success using Guidance System 3 as you are having Agility System 4. Once all this inner stuff is down, I'm going to move around to the left side here. Interestingly, I do have X1 on most of my ships. The slowdown mine effect from the flagship is not very helpful here, but many of these other things are, like the little arcs you see out of the front of the ships, which do have the special ability of decreasing enemy damage that they do deal. Once all the stuff in the center is dead, I'm going to head around to the right side. Again, try and keep your flagship tank out in front. And if you can be in those biofuel zones that drop from the oil rigs when you kill those, that drop from the torpedo towers, that will be helpful because you'll be taking less damage. Again, or you'll be reloading faster rather. Speaking of reloading faster, you will notice I have the Dragon Slayer's crew on, which does boost my reload as well as my turn speed, and I like using this one. You could also use Steelheads, Creeping Death, even Sea Serpents is going to be helpful because it does add evade, which is important for these targets. Coming up on this next cluster of turrets here, you'll notice I'm not really doing anything to avoid the mines, just driving one ship out ahead of everything else, and that's working pretty well. And it appears that most of the target is dead. At this point, you're going to want to make sure that you attack the center of the target, this big building right here, and then turns towards the left because things will already be firing at you from over there. Try and stay a little bit unstacked again as with one ship as a tank, maybe even shift click if you want to, and pivot around so that your special heavy weapons are dealing damage or your upgrade weapons are dealing damage to these things. I got that last turret there. I'm going to head around to the last couple turrets and see how close we got to instant repair. I'm thinking I'll have about 6 minutes damage on the flag, but we'll see on this. This target does pay out 5,000 points, and there is a Praetorian target which you can't hit for the bonus, which is another really easy target. Let me know what kind of damage you're getting on this thing, driving and auto, and maybe even after a couple attempts, see if you get better at it after doing one target. Here's the battle report. Damage taken is mainly radioactive from many of these turrets, as well as ballistic, nothing really too surprising, and of course all my damage was 100% radioactive from my launchers. Damage taken was 22 minutes, which looks like it's going to be able to come down. Let's go back to base and check the build and see what damage we got on each individual ship. Alright, we're back in base here, and as you can see, it had 22 minutes of repair time, but all these back 4 are going to be instant. I'm just going to take those off, and we have 8 minutes damage on the flagship. So you are going to take a little bit of time repairing there, unless you swap flags out or do something like that. Here's the build on the flagship. As you can see, I do have a fancy engine, as well as Agility System 4, which again, Guidance Scrambler 3 would work just as well. This is upgraded to X1, and my other 4 ships, 2 of them are upgraded and 2 of them are not. So let's check the build for that really quickly. And we can see that my 2 green ones are up to X1, whereas my 2 orange ones are not. Build is shown here. Notice I do not have agility system 4 on the back 4, which is why I'm using my flagship as the tank instead of something else. There's a build if you're interested. I will try to leave the Kixeye hash code down in the description. I hope you like me uploading videos like this as soon as Pillage starts. If it does help, go ahead and leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and this is Derpy signing out, helping you be a better pirate.